What has God placed into your heart? Remember, our God is a God of purpose, is a God of plan, and is a God who is a covenant keeper. And this God does wondrous deeds, and he can use any of his creation. It doesn't matter where you are right now. God can come to you right now to give you an assignment, to put something into your heart. And whatever he puts into your heart, he will enable you to carry it out. If you have no doubt and if you trust in his guiding and in his leading. We will look at a man called Nehemiah. Nehemiah was the king's cupbearer, and he was in exile in Babylon. Remember, Jerusalem had been destroyed, and now they are in exile. And we are told somebody comes and he asked a question. Nehemiah asked a question. I asked them about the Jews, the remnant preserved after the captivity, and about Jerusalem. And they answered me, the survivors of the captivity there in the province are in great distress and under reproach. Also, the wall of Jerusalem lies breached, and its gates have been gutted with fire. When I heard this report, I began to weep and continued mourning for several days. I fasted and prayed before the God of heaven. This is Nehemiah. He has just been told what is happening in his homeland, and he has felt a lot of pain for the suffering of his people, and he is weeping and mourning. And then I fasted and prayed before the God of heaven. So every assignment will start with prayer. Because if God puts something into your heart, he wants you to take action. And that action can only work if you are in consultation with him. I prayed, O Lord God of heaven, great and awesome God, you who preserve your covenant of mercy towards those who love you and keep your commandments. May your ear be attentive and your eyes open to heed the prayer which I, your servant, now offer in your presence day and night for your servants the Israelites, confessing the sins which we of Israel have committed against you, I and my father's house included. Grievously have we offended you, not keeping the commandments, the statutes, and the ordinances which you committed to your servant Moses. But remember, I pray, the promise which you gave through Moses, your servant, when you said, should you prove faithless, I will scatter you among the nations. But should you return to me and carefully keep my commandments, even though your outcasts have been driven to the farthest corner of the world, I will gather them from there and bring them back to the place which I have gathered them from there and bring them back, which I have chosen the dwelling place for my name. Jeremiah continues, they are your servants, your people, whom you freed by your great might and your strong hand. O Lord, may your ear be attentive to my prayer and that of all your willing servants who revere your name. Grant success to your servant this day, and let him find favor with this man. For I was a cupbearer to the king. Nehemiah has gone before God. He has pleaded for the sins of the Israelites, his own household, and he is reminding God, remember the covenant you made, the promise you made through Moses, that even if we wandered, if we ever came back to you and repented, you will bring us back. There's nothing as good as reminding God about his promises, because we know that God is a promise keeper. He is a loving father. He is a caring father. And so now Nehemiah is asking for favor, that he might find favor to go back to Jerusalem and rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. And we shall see what happened. When Nehemiah was praying and pleading with God, the king asked him, "Why do you look sad? If you are not sick, you must be sad at heart." Nehemiah replies, "Though I was seized with great fear, I answered the king, 'May the king live forever. How could I not look sad when the city where my ancestors are buried lies in ruins, and its gates have been eaten out by fire?' The king asked me, 'What is it then that you wish?' I prayed to the God of heaven and then answered the king." Listen, Nehemiah did not answer the king before praying to the God of heaven. That is very key. You must know that God is in control, He's in charge. He'll give you words to say, He'll direct your thoughts, your train of thoughts, and direct your path. So the king asked me, "What is it then that you wish?" I prayed to the God of heaven and then answered the king. So Nehemiah prays first and then answers the king. Look at that sequence. So the king, "And if your servant is deserving of your favor, send me to Judah, to the city of my ancestors' graves, to rebuild it." That is Nehemiah's request. "Send me to the city of Judah." Then the king and the queen seated beside him asked me how long my journey would take and when I would return. I set a date that was acceptable to him, and the king agreed that I might go. Look at all that. Nehemiah prayed, he fasted, he talked to God, he repented the sins of his people. And now doors are opening. Because when God goes before you, there's nobody that can block your path. Because if this message is from God, it has to be fulfilled according to his will. So Nehemiah is searching God, talking to God, and then the king is seeing sadness on his face. He did not talk to the king first. It is the king who saw the sadness on Nehemiah's face. I asked the king, "Father, if it pleases the king, let letters be given me for the governors of west of Euphrates, that they may afford me safe conduct until I arrive in Judah. Also a letter for Asphar and keeper of the royal park, that they may give me wood for timbering the gates of the temple citadel, and for the city wall and the house that I shall occupy." The king granted my requests, for the favoring hand of my God was upon me. There is nothing as great as God's favor. If God's hand of favor is upon you, all that you touch shall prosper. All that you say shall come to be, because the favor of God is upon you. Thus I proceeded to the governors of west of Euphrates and presented the king's letters to them. The king also sent with me army officers and cavalry. When Sanballat the Horonite, the Tobiah the Ammonite slave had heard of this, they were very much displeased that someone had come to seek the welfare of the Israelites. But let us remember, God's work is unstoppable. When God puts a burden into your heart, the next thing that happens is that you have to go to prayer. And when you go to prayer, God will give the leading. And all these doors that have opened for Jeremiah, the letters, the army, and even people to provide wood for building, God had all this in place. All he wanted is the action. from Nehemiah. And Nehemiah has taken a step of faith. He has spoken to the king of all that he wanted, and the king has granted all that he wanted. So when I had arrived in Jerusalem, I first rested there for 3 days. Then I set out by night with only a few other men, for I had not told anyone what my God had inspired me to do for Jerusalem. And with no other animals but my own mount, I rode out for the night by the valley gate, passed by the dragon spring, and came to the dung gate, observing how the walls of Jerusalem lay in ruins, and in gates had been eaten out by fire. Then I passed over to the spring gate and to the king's pool. Since there was no room here for my mount to pass with me astrode, I continued on foot up the wadi by night, inspecting the wall all the while, till I once more reached the valley gate, by which I went back in. The magistrates knew nothing of where I had gone or what I was doing, for as yet I had disclosed nothing to the Jews, neither to the priests, nor to the nobles, nor to the magistrates, nor to the others who would be concerned about the matter. So, here is Nehemiah. He has arrived. He is inspecting the work that is supposed to be done. And remember, this work, he finished it in 52 weeks. It was not a small job. We are told the gates were gutted with fire, the walls were down, and everything was in ruins. Afterwards I said to them, "You see the evil plight in which we stand, how Jerusalem lies in ruins, and in gates have been gutted by fire. Come, let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, so that we may no longer be an object of derision." Then I explained to them how the favoring hand of my God had rested upon me, and what the king has said to me. They replied, "Let us be up and building," and they undertook the good work with vigor. Look at that cooperation. Because when God is with you, no one can be against you. When God goes before you, He goes before you leveling all heights. Although later on we will see opposition as Nehemiah continues with the work that he is doing. But this did not deter Nehemiah, because he knew this assignment was from God, and he knew that God was with him, and he knew that nothing was impossible with God. And when He calls you out to do something, He also enables you to do it. And this is what Nehemiah had said, that the favor of God is with him. On hearing this, Sanballat the Horonite, Tobiah the Ammonite slave, and Geshem the Arab mocked us and ridiculed us. "What is this that you are about?" they asked. "Are you rebelling against the king?" My answer to them was this: "It is the God of heaven who will grant us success. We, his servants, shall set about the rebuilding, but for you there is to be neither share nor claim, nor memorial in Jerusalem." So Nehemiah is telling them, it doesn't matter the opposition you bring, it doesn't matter how you look at the work that you are doing. We are not rebelling against anybody. It is the God of heaven who will grant us success. So He will disregard every Tobias, every Sanballat, every opposition, and focus on God, and focus on this mission of God. So, what is it that God has put into your heart? What is the mission? What is the ministry? Is it too hard? Are you seeing a mountain ahead of you? Just go talk to the God of heaven, because, like Nehemiah is saying, He is the one who will give success. If He has called you, He will enable you. If He has called you, He will strengthen you. And if He has called you, He'll protect you. This is exactly what happened to Nehemiah. He received favor right from the king who he was serving, and he has gone through all these other countries with the letters that had been written for him, so that he can be able to pass through these countries in safety. He was also given soldiers to go guard him wherever he went. And now we will see Jeremiah completing this wall of Jerusalem and completing the work. And at some point he will declare that the joy of the Lord is his strength. Because what does God rejoice in? God does not rejoice in ruins. He rejoices in rebuilding ruins. God rejoices in rebuilding our hearts, in rebuilding our lives, in rebuilding all what has been shattered by the enemy, like the walls of Jerusalem. They were shattered, the gates were gutted with fire. Our lives can be shattered. Our gates can be gutted with fire. But it is within God's power to rebuild our lives. It is within God's power to rebuild all what the enemy has shattered. And like he went with Nehemiah, there's nothing impossible with God. He will provide, he will make a way, and he will make sure that you reach your destination. And you reach your destination safely because he has a purpose for you. Unless you are going to refuse to follow the path of God like Jonah did when he was sent to Nineveh, he decided to change course. But God had to put him back on course by putting him in the belly of a fish. And so, when God is out to do something and he demands that it is done by you, my friend, you better stop everything else that you are doing and focus on what God is telling you to do. And when you focus on what God is telling you to do, he will enable you, he will empower you, he will strengthen you. In Isaiah 41 verse 10, tells us, do not be afraid. I will help you, I will strengthen you, and I will uphold you with my victorious right hand. This is the God we serve. This is the God who is always ready to rebuild our ruined lives. Our lives can be ruined, can be shattered, just like the wall of Jerusalem. And he wants us to rebuild those walls. He wants us to rebuild our lives. They could be shattered by sin. They could be shattered by disease, discouragement, a lot of other things. But when you trust in God, the God who is, the God who was, and the God who will be, the unchanging God who changes not, he will be with you. And when you trust like Nehemiah, he is saying it is the God of heaven who will grant us success. So it doesn't matter what you people say. It doesn't matter whether the king feels offended. It doesn't matter who is coming against us. All these Sambalans and Tobiases will be silenced, because when the God of heaven speaks, no one can thwart his plans. No one can thwart his plans. There is no human being who is above God. God is above all. He is the creator. He is our redeemer. He is our God, our protector. And he is our everlasting rock for those who believe. I love you, Lord, my rock, because he is our stronghold. And in everything that we partake to do, he will be there with us, guiding and directing, giving wisdom, giving protection, giving direction. May we continue trusting in that power of God. May we continue believing that whatever God has set our heart to do, whatever he has begun doing, he will surely finish. If we trust in him, if we believe in him, and if we listen to his voice. If this message of Nehemiah has helped you, please Share it with your friends and your families. Subscribe to this channel so that we can continue receiving more and more insights. And please watch my other videos. I have done several videos which can help you. You can go to my playlist and you'll find several videos that can help you grow your faith, that can help you stay strong in spirit. Thank you. May God bless you, and may we continue walking together this journey of faith. Let us rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. Walls of Jerusalem could be our own lives. Our lives could be in ruins. Our gates could have been shattered by fire. But our God is a God of restoration. He wants to build us up. Let us follow His leading. Let us follow His calling. Thank you. Be blessed.